Hi, I'm Dan Hoffman. I'm one of your instructional coaches in the Palmdale School District. And some of you are going to be getting your in-person kids very soon, but you might also be teaching distance at the same time. We like to call that a different version of hybrid. How do you set that up? What's a good way to make sure you can monitor those kids' distance and still keep an eye on your kids during the day? Well, let's take a look and see how we can set that up with your laptop and your Promethean. Now, there's a few ways to start this off, but for the most part, you're going to be using your laptop and possibly your monitor. Let's take a look and see how we would set up Zoom for the hybrid learning, and then we'll move on to the Promethean to see how we can set up the Promethean so that way anything you do on the Promethean, your kids at home will be able to see. All right, so as you can see, I'm on my laptop. I'm going to go ahead and start my class, and there I am with my mask. I'm going to go ahead and join with computer audio, but I'm going to go ahead and mute and stop my video because I'm not going to use my computer for my camera. I'll be using the camera on the Promethean. So now that I've got myself logged in and I've started the class, now I'm going to go over to the Promethean and get that. All right, so now I'm at the Promethean. I'm going to go ahead and join a meeting. Do not be signed in with your account. I'm going to put in the meeting ID. And I'm going to make sure that I've got a name for my class just so that way I know the difference between the Promethean and the laptop. And now I'm ready to let myself in. So now I've added myself to the meeting on the Promethean, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to admit myself into the meeting. Now when I do this, this is going to be important because I need to make the Promethean a co-host. So I'm going to come over to participants. Let me go ahead and mute myself. Participants and make co-host. Now I do this because I want to be able to control the meeting from the Promethean. All right, as you can see on the Promethean, I have been added to the meeting. If from here, what we want to make sure is that we join with computer audio. That way, if at any point the participants, your students have any questions on the distance learning side, then they'd be able to ask them and you'd be able to use the speakers on the Promethean. Makes it a little bit louder. The microphone will be used through the camera on top of the Promethean, which is going to be really important. So we'll go ahead and click that. I'm going to go ahead and maximize my video. Now, the other thing you want to do, and it's hard to see here in the video, but you want to give yourself a gallery view. That way you can see all your students at once. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the video so that way everyone can see these students from home in class. That's just a great way to join the class together. Now that I have myself set up on the Promethean and I have my Zoom meeting on my laptop, you can see I've brought my laptop to the front of the room so that way I can monitor the class. Now what you're seeing here on there is the programs that I've pulled up for everyone to see in class and distance learning. So let's talk about how that can work. All right, so the first thing I'm going to bring up is I'm going to bring up a Jamboard because I'll be using Jamboard for one of my lessons. So let me go ahead and select this one. Nope, let me go with, yeah, that's a good one. We'll use that one. So I've got Jamboard up and I've also pulled up a smart lesson or at least a smart notebook. This way I can write on the board and those at home can see it. Now that I have all the programs I'm going to use, whether it's Benchmark or Jamboard, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on the Promethean. I'm going to share the entire screen and click share. So now I can open up the Jamboard and I can write on the Jamboard. I want my students to do the fraction example, and I also want them to do the 10 times greater, 100 times greater, and the next box, which is multiplying by 10 to the second power. Now on the smart program, it's the same thing. I can write on the smart program and they can see everything that's happening at home. So while this is going on, let's see what the student sees. So as you can see, I am on the student side now, which is also the laptop view. And you can see where I'm about to write on it. So this is what the students would see. So not only can in-class see it, but so can distance learning. And at the same time, I can monitor my students in the window on the right-hand side to see whether or not the students are paying attention or see whether or not there are any questions. So as you can see, this can be seen online and in person. And so just a great way for students to be able to see and participate with what's going on at home and in class. Everything I would do in class can be seen right here. Keep in mind, this is only one way that we have thought about how we can make in-person and distance learning combined work. You may find something that is 10 times better than this because it works for you, and that's awesome. Please let us know so we can take a look at it and see how we can share that with others. Keep in mind, mistakes will be made. It's how we respond to them. How do we change it to make it better for the next time? As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your EdTech coaches.